Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Conversations Around the Table. We are so happy that you joined us for another episode. We're super excited to be here. We have a really fun, amazing topic for you this morning. You might not be watching it in the morning, whatever. Anyway, we're so happy you're here. And one of the things that has been on my heart as we've been talking and having so many conversations, which, by the way, are we having so much fun?
So much fun.
I'm loving our conversations, and I even love watching them back, except, not loving different things about seeing yourself on camera. But I love our conversations. And one of the things that has kind of come up for me is the fact that in every topic that we discuss, we all four of us refer back to the Lord a lot and our relationship with Him and what we learn and how we get our identity from Him and all these things. And I just thought for our audience to get to know us better, I would love for this conversation to just talk about what was it about Jesus? What was it about the Lord? Where were you in your life? What was it about Him that made you go, oh, I want Him in my life. Oh, I need that in my life. So I'm going to ask all of us, and I'll share too, but I think our relationship with Him is the most important thing about us.
Yeah.
And I just would love for us to talk about that. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right. Who wants to go first? All right, Heather. I'm going to call
Okay, I knew you were going to call me. Okay, so
Heather,
for me, my relationship with the Lord started out when I was little. Like, I don't know what life looks like without the Lord in my life. Like, I just have, my mom raised us. I'm the oldest of four kids, and she started taking us to church whenever I was little, and I've never stopped. And so and for me, it's not about just church. It's about that relationship with Him. Like, what does that look like? It's spending time with Him, just like it is spending time with friends. It's having conversations with Him, just like it is having conversation with friends. So it's doing life. It's not just like Jesus isn't just this figurehead person to me. He is a friend. He is my beloved. He is a treasure.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be who I am today without Him. And so I think for me in my journey, why have I continued to choose Him? It might be the right answer, thing for me is I've continued to choose Him because He's brought transformation in my life. He's brought freedom in my life. And, that's been a journey. And so I think for looking back at the years of my life, I saw a lot of things growing up that I didn't want to be my story. And that's one of the reasons that I chose Him, because when even when I would go to church when I was little, I would feel like it was a safe place for me. Yeah. And home sometimes wasn't a very safe place. And so for me, I was just so grateful that I had mentors and leaders and, youth pastors and different youth leaders that were there for me, when I was going through some really, really hard things, growing up. And it just became like a haven, like a safe place. And so I know that's not everybody's story, but that's what it was for me. And so just through that, I just learned to love the Lord, spending time in His presence. That's my favorite thing in the world, is just to lean in, to worship the Lord, to be in His Word. But worship is music has just always been kind of that place where I can just get lost in Him. And so that's kind of just a little bit of a...
That's beautiful. I love that. I love too that so precious that your mom just raised you from the beginning. That's not my story, but I love that. And I think even though that wasn't my story, I always had a sense that there was a God, even, as a very small child, even not being raised. And my mom became a Christian later, and I'll tell my story, but I always knew there was a God. And so I think there is something in every human that's there is something bigger than me.
So true.
Right? And so I love that you just grew up, you don't remember life without Jesus, right?
No. And I remember, like I said, my story is very, there was a lot of crazy that was happening in my world growing up. And so Jesus was the anchor for me. He was my truth. He was truth. He is truth.
Yeah.
And so like when things were kind of chaotic in the home front, I remember having a journal next to my bed. And at night I would often just grab my journal and I would just write out my prayers to him. And still do that to this day. Like it's just been one of those things. And, I go in spurts, like sometimes I'll be like really consistent with it. And then other times I'm not super consistent, but I had a journal and I remember praying for my dad one time and I was writing out my prayers. And, as like years went by and my mom and dad were cleaning out a lot of things in the house, and I remember being very specific in this journal, like just really saying, Lord, like, please get a hold of my dad's heart. Like, let him know you, like, one day. And they sent me, I got a package one day. This is after I was married, like years and years, probably 20 years later. And I opened up this box and it was my journals.
Wow.
That I had written about specifics, like with my dad. And my dad had sent me the box.
Wow.
And he just had a little note in there and he's like, I read your journals and it really touched my heart. And that was really, really special because like through the years, like I just really wanted him to like just know Jesus, like know the Lord like I knew the Lord. And I remember him saying, he works really great for you, but he's never going to work for me.
Yeah.
But I made a point in that moment of my life to say, no, that's not truth. Like that may be his truth right now, but that's not God's truth over his life and over my life. And I'm going to contend and believe for salvation and just breakthrough and his transformation. And so finally at the end of his life, I got to lead him to the Lord and like know that he's with Jesus now. But like, even in that moment when I got that journal, like knew he read that, I was like, whoa, like that was a big deal. So
that is a big deal. That's a really big deal.
Beautiful.
So beautiful.
All right, Miss Robin, what about you? You're next.
Same as Heather.
Yeah.
Just as a child, I remember, my parents were part of the hippie movement, and so I was kind of birthed out of that. And my dad got saved when I was 7, and I gave my life to the Lord at the ministry was called Sky Valley Desert Retreat and Renewal Center in the middle of the desert. But I just vividly remember just feeling the presence of the Lord so heavy. I got baptized on Easter Sunday when I was 7, might have been 7 or 8, something like that. I think it was 7. And I remember just being so touched by the Lord, like the Holy Spirit. I remember going into the nursery and sitting and just weeping. I didn't know what it was. I just knew that like I just couldn't stop crying.
Yeah.
And I think it was just the Holy Spirit just touching me. And then I went through a season of rebellion, in high school and things like that. And then found myself in a really desperate situation at 19. And I was like, there is nothing that I want more than you, Lord. They're just, and then that was like the huge transformation in my life where I went like super extra, burned everything, threw away all my reggae CDs, like everything, or was it CDs or tapes? Something tapes, and probably tapes.
But 8 tracks, no, that's too old.
I had 8 tracks, just saying.
Yeah, did you? My mom had 8 tracks. I wasn't quite there.
I just aged myself.
Yeah. But I think, at 19, just like, every night, just that was really the beginning of transformation for me. Is knowing that, I needed a father. I needed an anchor in my life. I didn't have that growing up. And I love my parents. And I needed that, like that anchor, that thing that doesn't change. And I found that in the Lord. And, it hasn't changed since then.
Right. So I want to drill down on a couple of things that you said. So you said that how old were you when you went to that renewal?
I was a little girl. So
you were like 7.
Yeah, 7.
And so maybe talk about a little bit, what does it mean what did it feel like to feel the presence of the Lord?
Yeah, I mean, it's like something lands on you.
Yeah.
It's not even something that you, and it's interesting because, I'm 55 now and I still remember what it feels like. It's not emotion. It's not although because we're human, we look at it as emotion because crying is an emotional state.
Right.
But I just remember just feeling, it's like an envelopment of a thick presence.
And like peaceful. I mean, I'm just thinking of my own encounters like that of the presence of God. It's
So
like
peaceful.
that.
Yes.
You just feel a peace like you've never felt before,
Yeah.
or a wraparound love.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's like you're just enveloped by something.
Yeah.
It's peaceful. It's weighty. There's like a weight to it.
Yeah.
It's like a weighted blanket, I guess you could say.
That's
Like
great
if you're laying in bed
Yeah.
and you just have that weight, you feel the weight of it on you. And I mean, now you have language for it as an adult. It's like a weighted glory that comes on you. Yeah.
And I love the part of your story you said, when you were 19. And what I think of in your story is just coming to a place where you realized your own insufficiency.
Yeah.
Like, I actually need somebody bigger
Yeah.
than me.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's probably common. I know that's my own mom's story of like, wow, I thought I could control my life and have this picture perfect everything. And
Yeah.
life can knock the stuffing out of you, and you need somebody bigger. And so I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need something bigger. You need something like that you can grab a hold of. And I mean, that's the story.
Yeah.
Is he's there waiting for us because he loved us first.
Right.
He's just waiting for us. He doesn't cross that boundary until we invite him into that space.
So true.
But when we do, it's like all bets are off now.
Yeah.
Like he's with us.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I love that. All right, Miss
too.
Jojo.
Tell us your story.
I know. Well, it's funny because it's very similar. I mean, I think there's a common theme we're all sharing. And I grew up in a very chaotic home. I remember experiencing a lot of fear growing up. Like I was always afraid and just always had fear. And, part of it was the chaos in my home. Part of it was just the things that were happening in and around my home. And so for me, I mean, I didn't, get to know who Jesus was. I grew up Catholic. So we would go to church and go to mass. And I actually kind of loved it. Like I was an altar girl. I was like one of the first altar girls at our, Catholic church. And I loved church. Church felt safe to me. It felt like a place where we go and there was just this safety about it.
Yes.
And so then I got into dancing, and then recitals were on the weekend. So, all of that, we just stopped going. So when I was in high school, my girlfriend invited me to a youth night. And I went a couple times before I finally was like understanding that I want what I'm experiencing here, which was joy, because I was always afraid and very insecure and just had a lot going on internally for myself, that I was watching all of these kids have this joy that I was like, how can, like, this is wild to see this, and I need that. Like, I don't have that experience of joy or happiness. Everything was just felt kind of more heavy at home. And so there was that, and then there was this peace, that it was like a sense of belonging that I didn't even truly feel in my own family at that point, that sense of belonging, and that there was something that was drawing me to that sense of belonging, really, just joy and belonging.
Right.
And so, I mean, I was like so excited when I was like, oh my gosh,
This is real.
For me, growing up in the Catholic Church, it was, and I'm not saying this is everyone's experience in that space, but for me, it was like the Bible was holy and like only the priest read it,
Yeah.
And it was a kind of this untouchable thing.
Right.
And I didn't know there was an opportunity to have a relationship with the Lord, or to have a relationship with a man named Jesus. Like, I didn't understand that. So it was like taking the religion out of it for me and bringing a relationship.
Yeah.
And that changed everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
So
It does.
I love that. I love all of that. And I love how the Lord is so, I always think things should just be done in a certain way. And the Lord is so patient to like walk with us and take us through different seasons. And like he was so present, even in that season of you going to the Catholic Church and introducing you to that and having you feel comfortable in there. But that relationship, isn't that really the thing? It's like when people realize that you actually can have a friend, a father, the Lord, the creator of the universe, you can actually have a relationship with him yourself.
Yes.
It's not just a religious exercise, right? That I think is that's the changeover, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, like, in terms of, from my experience of growing up in that Catholic religion, that, the Bible was just like, like I said, this holy, untouchable thing. So when I became a Christian, they gave you a Bible and I was like, I get to read this. Like,
Is this legal?
I know, like, oh my gosh, what does it say? Because I had no context.
Yeah.
So it was really, and that was something that was so new to me. Like, oh my gosh, he's speaking to me through his word. Like I didn't even know that was a thing. Like he would literally touch, like things would hit my heart by reading the word of God. And that was like a whole new experience too.
Yeah.
Which I loved.
I think what's coming up for me too right now is just a memory of that deep feeling and knowing that I suddenly have a friend.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up with a single mom. It was just my mom and I for so many years. And I remember just being in my room a lot alone and with my kitty cat and my record player and just talking to the Lord. Like I knew that I had a friend suddenly, even as a little girl.
Right.
And I remember just sitting in the bathtub and just like singing, I'm not going to sing on camera. Special little songs, like old songs.
Yeah.
And just singing to him and not really even knowing that that was an expression of worship. Right. Just knowing that I'm singing to my friend. He was my friend.
Yeah.
He became my friend.
Yeah. Well, that's a great segue into my story, actually, because so my story is that I had the perfect picture family. My mom was the firstborn in her family, and she was a high achiever. And so she was the first to graduate from college, and she was the first to get married. And it was like this big thing when my parents got married. And her whole family grew up in the Alhambra, Pasadena area. And so my parents were the first. They moved. So my mom's family, they would grow up vacationing in Newport Beach, but it was always like, that's the dream to live in Newport Beach. And my parents were the first to buy the house in Newport Beach. So my parents were kind of a big deal in our family. And then my parents blew it up. And my dad had affairs and my mom lost control of her perfect picture life. And I watched the whole thing get blown up. And so for me, it was like, all of us just kind of like holding on to what we thought we had. And in the middle of that, my mom became a Christian and her story is that she realized she needed somebody smarter and bigger to handle her life, that she reached her own insufficiency. So she started taking us to church. I was like 11 and I went to Forest Home.
Forest Home. Good old Forest Home.
Good old Forest Home.
Gotta love
All our
Forest.
kids.
Yeah.
Shout out to Forest Home with what was the hymn that was like printed out on the wall? It's just
so
how many
It is
people
thy
came to the Lord?
faithfulness. I don't know.
Yeah. It's something
Greatest thy
like that.
faithfulness.
Yeah.
probably.
And I went on a junior high winter retreat and, brought all of my snow gear up there, came with a couple of friends. And in the midst of it, these two friends bailed on me. We don't want to be your friend anymore, but we're going to steal your snow pants and then rip them going down. Going sledding. And so I was just like, I don't have anybody. And went to the service that night and kind of don't even remember what he was talking about. But I heard him say, Jesus will be the best friend you've ever had. And I get emotional. He'll be the best friend you ever had. And I was like, sign me up.
I need that.
I need a friend. And my mom had already become a Christian, so I kind of had heard a little bit about this Jesus thing and this church thing. But meanwhile, I'm watching my mom's life unravel and my life unravel. But it was that 11-year-old Jiff that just wanted a friend,
Yeah.
And so I went forward and I gave my life to the Lord. And, they walk you through it. It's like, praying the sinner's prayer or whatever. It's like, I realize I need the Lord. I'm inviting you in. And you don't even really understand.
Right.
I mean, we're still unpacking what that means, right?
Yes.
But I remember everybody being so happy and like, welcome to the family. And they give you a Bible. And it was this incredible thing. And I literally felt different.
Yeah.
And I went home and I said to my mom, well, I have good news and bad news. And she's like, well, what's the bad news? I'm like, well, my ski pants are ruined. Well, what's the good news? I said, I invited Jesus into my heart. And, that's the language we used back then. And I think what we would want to communicate to our audience that maybe didn't grow up in that is just, it's that recognition that there is a God, that he is personal, and you want him in your life.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. And, and my mom was thrilled. So that's what made me fall in love with him at the start. And then literally, I've just been falling more in love with him every day since, and uncovering these depths of him that I look back at that little 11-year-old and just think she only just knew this one little piece, but how the Lord knew.
Yes.
I'm going to come in on that one little piece, and you're not even going to believe how amazing that this is going to be for you.
Absolutely.
And there's like a thread of he enters into that space in the unraveling.
Absolutely.
The unraveling of our lives, and we don't need to be afraid of that. Like he's just waiting for us to invite him into that space.
I know you just said invite, and I was just thinking back, just being little and thinking about the ABCs of salvation, right?
Yeah.
It's like, how do you invite him in? You ask.
Yeah.
And then you believe in your heart that he died on the cross, and then you actually confess with your mouth that, you know what, I'm a believer. Like, confess your sins one to another, like all the things. And just thinking about that journey of like, I can't even imagine. I cannot imagine life without him.
Yeah.
Me.
Like I can't imagine because I see so many people that just choose not to have him in their lives.
I know.
And I'm like, what are you doing? Like how can you, like, it's like night and day difference, right?
Absolutely.
Like whenever you
But I look at those same people and I'm just like desperate for them to like let him in. You know, it's like if you just knew, like it's that presence of God. Like you can feel so loved. You can know you're so loved. You can know that you have a purpose. But it's that how do I make you see it?
I think like a cry of everyone's heart is to be known. Right. And to have a sense of belonging. And I think that is something that's so powerful about walking with the Lord, right? And knowing him is out in the friendship, and in the safety and in the presence and the peace that we get, we also belong, because our identity gets hit in that place of giving our lives to him and choosing him. Like, I want you as my friend because he identifies us as a daughter, as part of the family of God. And so I think for me, like that sense of being known, like really known by him, because we all have things that we feel like if you really knew me, would you really like me? Or would you really like want to stay in a relationship with me? And he's like, yes, like none of it matters. The before and the now, it's all under this place of blessing and that relationship with him. And so just that full acceptance and belonging, I think is so beautiful. And it's available, for anybody who would want that or want to understand or have more of that. He's always right there and always willing, waiting.
And I love too, all of us have had a long time building this relationship with the Lord, walking and discovering. We are always discovering more and more of God. We are never going to discover we're never going to get to the end of God. Exactly. We're going to always be discovering. And so I just have a question, and I'm looking at the timer, but I really would love to share too, if we could just do it kind of quickly, like we talked about how we got there in the beginning, but right now in your life, what would you say is the thing that you love the most about him? Like, what's the thing that's about, because he's so multifaceted. He's powerful. He's all love. He is good all the time. Like, there's these things, like, what would you say in your season right now is the thing that you're just like, I love this so much about him. I'm pulling on that a lot, or I'm dependent on that. I know we're
One word, faithful.
his faithfulness.
He's faithful.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's faithful. I can look through every single season of my life, and the faithfulness of God has been there time and time. I mean, and obviously there are more words, but for me,
Yeah.
I think that's like
That's
an anchor.
great.
That's so good.
Anchor word, faithful.
What about you, Robin? I know this is a big topic.
It's a
We
big
may have to
topic.
keep going, but
Seriously, like, I think right now I'm just like mind blown. Like, there are pieces and fragments of the Lord that I just like literally don't even know. Sometimes I'll just sit there and I'll go, I feel like I don't even really know you yet, because he's so vast and so big. And I feel like, I mean, he's always been faithful to us, but like, there's always this space and time where you're like, where he challenges you to believe. You believe I'm going to be faithful, right?
right.
You know, and he just blows my mind. You know, there's just such a hunger
Yeah.
in me at this stage of my life where I'm like, there's things I don't know about you that I want to know.
I love that.
I want to know this about you. And when you say that to him, he takes you at your word, and then he goes, okay, let's go. I'm going to show you.
Right.
And it is not fun. It's hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But yet he's right there, and he wants you to go after him. He wants you to like tug on his heart and like go after his word and go after what he says about you and all of those things. And so
That's
for me, it's mind blowing.
such a beautiful place to be, where we're always conscious of there's more of God. There is always more of him to discover and to pull on. And yet sometimes it is uncomfortable, because it's like it takes scraping things off of us a little bit, you know?
It's really scary.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
But it's beautiful.
But it's beautiful. It's that beautiful tension of scary and beauty.
Yeah.
All of it.
What about you, Jojo?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, I mean, there's so many things I could say, but I think for me right now, it's his redemptive work, you know, and I think that, you know, I think about the redemption of God. It's so much better, like when he redeems something, it's so much better than if I were to try to fix something in my own strength, or to strive to make something better in my own strength, and just to watch him redeem the things that have been lost, stolen, broken, deleted, taken wrongfully, just, you know, removed from my life, from other people that I love, their life, you know, all of it. It's like his redemptive work is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And even in our own personal lives, right? You know, it's like he did that for me, you know, and he does that for us and for people. And that redemption is just beautiful. It's glorious, you know, and it's just amazing to watch him do that for each other.
He's so good at it.
Yes.
He's so good at it.
Way better than
love
I
that.
can. Way better than me.
Way,
Yes.
way better than
What about
we
you?
can do it. I love all, I mean, we love all the aspects of God, and they're all so amazing. I think for me right now, I'm just enjoying so much, like, he's happy to see me. He's his love, his joy. Like, he's always joyful. He's always like, I might be frantic and spinning or whatever, and he's just like smiling at me, you know, like, I just love you, you know, like he's just happy to see me, you know, and happy to be with us, and he's just waiting, you know, waiting for us to come with
He's
him.
waiting
So
for us to calm down.
he's kind of waiting for us to calm down. It's true. He doesn't tell us to calm down. He waits for us to calm down, right?
It's true.
I love this, you guys. I love, you know what I love? I love each of you so much, and I love seeing the Lord in each one of you, and I really do see Jesus in all three of you. And it, like, when we reflect Jesus to each other, and it's part of our friendship, and I just love that. And so we are so happy that you have joined us for this conversation. I actually just want to do a shout out, like, to anyone out there who's thinking, okay, I've heard of Jesus, and maybe you've even known Christians, and you're like, I don't think I want that because they're not that nice or whatever. I would just encourage you, like, give it another thought, and just, you know, sometimes it takes us going, are you real? Like, if you're really real, let me know. But leave a comment, leave a question. Like, we would love to engage in this. Jesus is the biggest thing to all of us and the most important thing to all of us. So we would love to interact with you on that if you're interested. Thanks so much for joining us for this conversation. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram. Robin, tell us again where it is.
Instagram, around the table _Inc.
_Inc. And be on the lookout. We're going to have a gathering. We're doing some stuff. We're going to do some fun things this summer. So keep watching, keep hitting that like, send it to your friends. And we're so happy you were with us. We'll see you next time.